Welcome to episode 37 of the 24-Hour Hustle Show, and today we got special guest, President and CEO Caroline Martin of A Steel City Building Maintenance. Welcome to the 24-Hour Hustle Show. I'm your host, Anthony Freeze, and this is the show where we get the opportunity to sit down with amazing, accomplished guests and find out about their stories, their struggles, and all about their 24 hours. Also, if this is the very first time you are finding about us, definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell to get these notifications every single Friday at 12 p.m. And today, we got special guest Caroline Martin. I am so glad that you were able to come onto the show. I've gotten a lot of nominations of people to be on the show, and you happen to be one that landed in my lap. And we got a chance to sit down over a cup of coffee. Loved the conversation. Loved your story, which I really love, and I really hope you get the opportunity to share that here with us too, because I think it's definitely good for people to hear. But I'm definitely glad to have you on the show, and get the conversation going. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be sitting here. Like you mentioned, accomplished and powerful people making a difference in our community and all around the world. So for me to be sitting here, I thank God for this opportunity.
Right.
And I don't take it lightly at all. Yeah.
Absolutely. And same here. I mean, we all appreciate the work that you're doing. And like I said, I just love to be able to showcase people like yourselves doing great things in the community, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to see it. So this way people can see it, and it gives them a lot of hope. So I'm definitely glad that you were able to make it here. So tell us a little bit about your business and what it is and why you decided to even get that started.
So our business is called A Steel City Building Maintenance, and it's a corporation. We've been in business close to 10 years now. So we thank God for that.
Yeah, that's a blessing.
That is. Yeah, so I've done a lot of jobs since I came here to the U.S. I was cleaning somebody's office, every now and then, and my husband was also helping. So, we just decided to open something. We registered. I was still working, and, paying for insurance before we actually landed our first job to clean. And, just persevering. And the one account we got just launched us out and opened doors.
And who was that?
That was Astorino.
Okay.
Yeah, they do architecture, They've designed Children's Hospital and many other buildings in Pittsburgh. I think the council also. And that just from our reputation, people are telling people, word of mouth. It's really big. It's been big for us.
That's awesome. So, so you started out doing the building maintenance, but you're also getting into more residential, right?
Residential.
Okay.
Yes, we're doing a lot of residential. And actually, the beginning of this year, with the Hot Warriors, which is a dance team at our church, and my daughter she's been dancing there since she was 4. They traveled to Nairobi for the second time. So God just put it on our heart to, do a sale and like a promotion, I should say. And the money we were getting from there, we donated to the dance group, and so the parents don't have to come up with like $1,100, $1,200. So they just came up with just the difference. So we did a lot of houses. It was fun because I was like on Facebook every day.
Right, getting it out there. You got to get it out there.
And some of the clients, they were okay with coming on the camera and just sharing the experience. We pray, we get there, say, Holy Spirit, help us how we're going to clean this and leave our presence here and make it feel great. Because, cleaning just reminds me of, when God comes in our hearts, our unclean, and He cleans us and we are clean and it feels so good. So when I go in a house, I clean, or a residential, it smells good. It feels great. Okay. Everybody loves a clean environment.
The way you're making this sound, I got to bring you in. For real. You got to cleanse the house.
You will not regret the smell, just how it feels, the after feeling. It feels great. I love it.
So what inspired you to get into this line of work?
Well, we just wanted to start a business.
Okay.
You know, and we love cleaning. We like cleaning and cooking, but I would say it was just something that was easy for us to start, I should say. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah,
And we had cleaned before, you know, like I mentioned, you know, somebody's office I was cleaning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe one of the when we were talking before, I think, you know, one of the reasons why you got into entrepreneurship. So I really liked your reasoning behind it. So I guess a better question would be, why did you decide to become an entrepreneur or start a business? What was it? I mean, because a lot of people could decide to just go into a job and still do cleaning. So what made you decide to go the avenue and do it yourself?
Okay, so I've been reflecting a lot about just being a CEO here in America. For me, it's really a big thing. It's such a blessing. So I've been reflecting. I've been a business woman since I was 5, believe it or not. I've just been thinking, even back home, you know, I'll go with my friend where I grew up and we'll buy like vegetables early in the morning and resell them.
Right.
You know, and when I was in high school, you know, sometimes there was a struggle of transport, or we pay school fees every month or every year, you know, and sometimes it's a struggle. I'll make some hamburgers, egg rolls, and take them to school and sell them.
Right.
And make some transport money for the whole week. You know, when I first came to the U.S., so since I landed here, I did Avon. That was my first job. And I did so good. I made a lot of clients, and from Avon, I was hustling. I was going to New York and getting merchandise from there and selling them here. I would sell them to people at banks, you know, people at different places. So I've been a businesswoman since I landed here.
Yeah, you've had the mindset for a long period of time.
And I see it in my kids. That's what they're doing. The lemonade stand, you know, they're coming up with different ideas, and I support that because you never know where that goes. Right.
So yeah, let's talk about your upbringing and the things that developed your mindset, because that's one of the biggest things I love to talk about, is how people develop their mindset, because not everybody is cut out for entrepreneurship or to want to be a business owner or to want to start things and sell things and things like that. So what was your upbringing like? And what were some of the things that you say inspired you or influenced you as far as your mindset goes? And then maybe even take us into the story of like what even brought you to the States.
Okay, so I'm originally from Zambia, Africa, for those who don't know. It's in south central part of Africa. And I was born in a place called Kitwe. And, you know, and it was like, I would say like a ghetto place, shanty. We call them shanty compounds.
Okay. So that's a different way of saying ghetto there?
Yes.
All right. We're just learning something new. What is it again? Shanty?
Shanty compounds.
Shanty compounds. All right.
To some, it will seem like, you know, I'm putting myself out there, but I'm just being real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in a shanty compound with my mother and my dad, and there were 7 of us. 6 girls and 1 boy, and I'm the 4th. I'm the middle child.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 big sisters and 1 big brother, and I have 3 young sisters. And so growing up there, you know, I went to school with no shoes, started my 1st grade, but for whatever reason, I've had a very fighting spirit since I was young, and determined, and now I'm being reminded that my mom is here. We sit down and talk, and she'll remind me about all these things. Like, I've just been different, I would say, from all my siblings. And, you know, growing up there, you know, finally things got better. I moved away from my parents since I was in 4th grade, you know, being kept by somebody. So they can help me go to school. And that person dies, the first person I lived with. You know, I moved back to my mom. And, you know, because I was very intelligent in school. So my grandmother, I always say, she was always looking out for me. For whatever reason, she saw something great. So she always loved to visit, you know, our relatives who were doing better than us. So she'll go and tell them, she's so great, she's really doing good, always passing the first one in class. So I moved to my mom's young sister. I stayed with them for a year. You know, they both died. I had to move back home. And, by then I was like getting kind of sick and tired of that. Like every time I live with somebody, they die. Like, what's wrong? Finally I moved to Lusaka, which is the capital city of Zambia. And I lived with my auntie from 8th grade until I finished high school. So I moved a lot, but I didn't give up. Because even the people were helping me in school to come to school and get my report card, they were very proud to come because they know that they'll see some great results there. So that's how my story has been. Until I finished high school at Kablonga Girls. It was all girls school. My aunt moved to England, the one who was keeping me. So I started living by myself. I got a job at it's more like Starbucks. It's called Vaselis.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was very good at customer service. All the jobs I've had, I put in my very best. Just having that great work ethic, and took myself to school from whatever I was earning there to do public purchasing and supply. I did that for a year, got a certificate, and somebody applied for me to do there's something called DVS lottery. America allows people from developing countries to come here. That opportunity, and I won the lottery to come here as a permanent resident.
Yeah. I remember you saying that when you shared your story. That was awesome.
Yes. So God opened that door for me through my best friend, and I'm always grateful. So that's how I came. I came here. Like I said.
Now, how old were you whenever you came here?
I was before I turned 23.
Okay.
Yeah. Right before I came in February of 2004. So I've been here a little over 14 years, going to 15. Yeah,
well,
I feel
that's
like
awesome.
I've been here for a long time.
Yeah, you've definitely created some roots here.
I love
for
it.
sure. I mean, because you've made a lot of great connections and
Yes.
things like that. We definitely have a lot of the same mutual friends. So you've definitely made some nice, deep-rooted seeds here in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, I am even, for you talking about that, I've come to love this place. Just the women mostly that I've met. I've met you. You're my brother.
Yeah.
I'm claiming you.
That's fine with me. We're family around here.
Yes.
For sure, yeah.
I love Pittsburgh, learning about the history of Pittsburgh. Even I was at the second inauguration for the mayor at the Soldiers and Sailors. I went to the cocktail at the museum that they had.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went there for the evening party and talking to the mayor and listening to the speech and the history of Pittsburgh and the plans that they have, and just meeting women, powerful women. Dr. Shelley, we are friends.
Yeah.
Talking to Darius, Miss Janice Burley.
Yeah.
My gosh, these women, Mama Messenger Caswell, who I claim to be my kingdom mother because I've known them since I arrived in this place, And all these are business-minded people. Our pastor's wife, she owns a salon. Yeah, so all these women who are serving God and hustling and making a difference, So I love this place. So many women I can mention, but some of them you've brought them here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you say, because this is a great perspective from someone coming from the outside coming in, what was your perspective like coming in, and then what was like some of the best things you feel like you've learned, or maybe the best people you've met, maybe the best influences? What was that experience like whenever you got here?
When I came to Pittsburgh, just like the cleaning job that we do, people don't look down on you because you're cleaning. Where we come from, it's like the office jobs, this and that. You step out, you're doing the housemaid, or you're doing the cleaning job, or security jobs. You are hustling, you're working for yourself. Of course, keeping in mind that you develop that and take it to another level. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just stepping out and getting that opportunity to be able to create something, and if you stay focused, something even greater than your mind can comprehend. So I love that. I love that about Pittsburgh in America, I should say.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so, you know, and talking more about the business now, because you've been doing it for 10 years, that's a long time. A lot of people struggle to even make it to that point. But whenever you first started, what would you say were some of the maybe initial challenges that you faced in the beginning that you felt like were maybe frustrating or just a little hurdle that you had to overcome in the beginning? And what would you say were some of the biggest lessons that you learned maybe in that beginning phase of actually getting started?
Excuse me. So I would say, because we were like just getting started before actually getting the job, we were spending money on the business. We were paying for getting insurance, and by then we had not hired. I was doing it with my husband. So I'm working and he's cleaning, and so paying for the company before you actually start making the money. So that was a big hassle. That was a big kind of, if you are not really focused, you can get discouraged. And I think a lot of people go through that. When you have a vision, you start, but the income hasn't started yet.
Right.
I don't think it's time to stop. I think you just continue and go to open doors where like your first launch or your first client will launch you out.
Right.
So that was one of them. And then when we finally got the building and things like that, getting good employees sometimes can be a challenge. Like because I work really hard. Yeah, I work with excellence, and so having like standards like that, and you want everybody to like, this is how I'm going to train you, this is how you get trained, and these are the expectations. So training people to do that, that it was a little bit of a problem, but we're good. We're good. Teamwork, having a great team is very important. Yeah, absolutely.
The two things that you hit on the most that I'm also even experiencing myself, number one is the income in the beginning, because when people start things, especially in the beginning when it comes to starting a business, they want to make money right now. They want that instant gratification. They want to be big successes overnight. And the reality of the situation is it doesn't happen that way. It definitely takes time, and you definitely got to have patience. And one of the biggest things that I've just learned in getting things started up and eventually even getting to the point of making income is that you gotta in the short term, be working a lot and put in the work and the time and the effort. But in the long term, have the patience to understand that it's not all going to happen overnight. But if you put in that work every single day, little by little, each and every day, eventually it's going to get to a point where you're getting small results there. Okay, that's good. You got to keep building upon that. You're getting a bigger client here, and then you meet this person, and then you meet that person, and then it just continues to keep building and building and building. It's almost like a snowball. It's going to start small in the beginning, but you just got to keep rolling that thing.
Yes, build it up.
Yeah, and then and then as far as the team aspect thing, I mean, that's important too. You got to learn how to collaborate with people, how to work together with people, how to build up your team.
Yes.
And I know one of the things that I always try to look for whenever I'm working with people is people that I feel like I can know, like, and trust.
Yes.
Because those are very important characteristics whenever you're working with people. I like to work with people that I feel like I can get to know, connect with them first.
Oh yeah.
And maybe we have some common grounds. Maybe we like the same stuff. Maybe we have the same goals. That makes it a lot easier to kind of collaborate and work together on certain things. And then if we like the same stuff, and then if we're able to trust each other, and then over time that just builds over time too.
So I can add on to that also.
Yeah.
Trust is a big thing when you're working with people, because we've had people and they're coming to collect a paycheck. They're coming to count the hours, like how many hours am I working? So that's part of training. Like if you think this is dirty work and you are too overqualified for this, and sometimes people look at your vision and they don't connect with it, then you're in the wrong place.
Right.
You are you are here, you're part of this team, you have to support and see the vision of where we want to go. That way, even when you're working, God will trust you in little things.
Oh yeah.
He will elevate you and launch you to, so if you are not being faithful now. You're not being you can't be trusted now. Like, where are you gonna go? So I share that with our team. Like, if you think this is not for you, you just want to come and collect, because you will see. Like, I can support even the same day somebody who's coming to count the hours and somebody who's really in it. And, you know, sometimes you just give them, okay, you're going to give them a week or two. But I'm pretty good. I can tell the attitude, the one who is open to learning, you can tell.
You triggered something in my mindset that I just thought about. As far as being entrusted with different things, like, if you can start something small and not get big results out of that and be entrusted with that and still continue to do the work, you can be entrusted with bigger tasks and bigger responsibilities. Because if you can appreciate the small stuff that you have right now and then have engaged employees and work with the right amount of people in a small setting, you can absolutely do it in a bigger setting. You just got to continue to keep doing the same exact things that you're doing with the small group, and you could do that in a bigger group too. So that's actually one thing that I've definitely found, because it starts, you're going to start with not much. So if you can appreciate those little things, it'll exponentially grow.
You'll be trusted with more.
Absolutely.
You know, much more. And you'll be proud of yourself because you're going to look back and say, how was my attitude then when I was small? You know what I mean? When I just started, the humble beginnings. How was my attitude? Like, you'll be able to look back and say, I was just putting in as much effort and excellence in it as I'm doing it now. And I think it just makes you feel good about yourself. You know, to be grateful for now, and the latter days will get better. Yeah,
absolutely. You got to be humble and hungry at the same time.
Yes.
Humble for the small, humble for the beginnings, and then hungry enough that you know you're gonna get a lot more in the future.
Yes.
So yeah, I like that section. That was we got a lot out of that for sure. So one of the things, the story that you shared with me before, whenever we sat down, was the one about your son. Share that experience with us, and, you know, what was your mindset like in going through that, and why do you think that was a very important moment to share with people?
So, you know, my husband and my kids were involved in a car accident, 2015. I'm going to speak up.
Oh, yeah, go do what you got to do.
Yeah, so, you know, that happened. I was pregnant with my Josette, who we love so much. She just brings so much joy to us. So I was pregnant at the time, and, you know, they were all injured, but our third baby had a traumatic brain injury. And, you know, the very time we went in, it wasn't showing because it was internal, but he had, like, very close to his eyeball coming out. It was, like, close. So it was just that blood that was, like, dripping out of the car seat, you know, where they flight lifted him in. And so they did all the CAT scanning. I got there. They called me, actually. The paramedics called me, and I was at home. And they said, no, just go to the hospital. But something just told me to go to the scene. I went there, and it felt like in the movie, like ER, you know, like ambulance everywhere. It was just crazy. So I went in the ambulance with my other two kids, got there. I can't just even describe, you know, the feeling. It was like the longest ride to Children's Hospital because my baby was there, my chunky baby, we called him. And, you know, they did the CAT scans for everybody, and, you know, of course they found that he was really injured. You know, I had 2 in the ICU, and then I had 1 downstairs. So just that night was really crazy. I felt so sorry for myself, I should say, because I remember moving from room to room, and my daughter was downstairs. She just, you know, she just had some brushes. She wasn't hurt, but the other one, his head was like inside. So moving from one room to the other, I went to check up on her. She's like, oh, mommy, just go and, you know, my young brothers, they need more help than you. And it's just from then on, it was just roller coaster. The days that followed, it was so numbing, like, to see just, at some point they couldn't really figure out, like, how to stop the blood from coming out. And it was just hard. It was really hard, and we got through it by God's grace. I was staying at the hospital. The other two got discharged, and I was not going home. I stayed there because I was afraid, for whatever reason, because it was so serious that if I leave, I can get caught. He went through surgeries after surgeries, day after day. I was just praying and being real to God, telling him exactly how I felt that time. And that was my main thing, like, just carry me. I cannot carry myself. And don't allow my faith to faint. This is when, like, as a Christian, this is the real Christianity.
This is the real test, yeah.
This is when you will know if you are all those things that you encourage on Facebook or at church or other people. This is when you can know if you're a true Christian. So crying out to him, I'm like, exactly how I feel. I had such great support, and he was in a coma for months. I didn't hold my baby. We couldn't hold him. They didn't even have space, like, to put medication, so they connected, like, one spot, like 5 medications. It was just crazy. He was so swollen, like days when he was, like, really swollen, and you don't see the day when the swelling is gonna go down. And in your mind you are like, I cannot believe this. I couldn't recognize. I did show you some of the pictures. Just thank God they started, he started coming out slowly. And I've stayed positive, I should say.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
held on to the hand of God. And I can proudly say that my faith did not waver. And when it happened, I deactivated my account on Facebook. A week before that, I was sharing worship will see you through in hard times. Worship, like, for whatever reason. And, the Spirit of God told me to go back. And I was there. And I shared still in the hospital. I shared the day I actually surrendered. I went to a church in downtown. And that was Spirit inspired, actually, to leave that bed, the hospital, go to any church and lay it on the altar. Lay it all there. I had never, they were meeting at the Omni William Hotel. And that's, I forget the name of the church. But anyways, I went to that church and I had never been there. The worship was powerful. And I'm like, how am I going to get there? Nobody's on the altar. I've never been to this church. I don't even know what just made me get up. And I laid there in my red dress, my red shoes, looking good. If I don't tell you, you won't know. But I was so broken and crushed to pieces that day. I was so crushed. Oh my gosh. So I went there and I laid down. And I think they even prolonged the worship. It was so beautiful. The worship was just powerful. And I left it there. And from then on, I started being able to go home and spend time because you have other kids. Life doesn't stop. You go on. So, but it was just finding that. Being able to leave the ICU and go to spend time with the other kids. They were having a hard time too. Like, Mommy's not here, this and that. But, with the great support, I left it there. People were so great, I didn't want to talk to anybody because every time I talked, I was crying. Yeah, so from then on, he started getting better. We went to Children's Hospital. We were at the rehab for 2 months. And he's been going through therapy, and he's doing good. Yeah. That's our miracle JC, we call him. Yeah. Yeah, we shared the story even on Cornerstone TV. Yeah, we were able to share that testimony. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I'm so glad you shared that with me that day because, a lot of people feel like they got it rough or they got it hard, but there's always someone out there that's fighting, and that test was definitely a great testimony that you shared with me, and it just gave me a whole new perspective on
my life, my situation, and whenever someone feels like they got it bad, or if I feel like I got it bad, it's like someone out there is fighting much greater battles and still overcoming them. And you showed a tremendous amount of strength, tremendous amount of faith, and you're still out there making things happen. And that's why I really connected with that story, because you're still, showing your strength and still being strong, and being a true inspiration and encourager to other people as well. So definitely commend you on all the work that you're doing and continuing to move forward, because even, seeing his health improve and things like that get better is definitely a tremendous blessing.
Yeah. He was, he lost his sight. We didn't know that until we get to rehab, and they said he cannot see because they're trying to do this. They were about to put the, he had it on the throat because he wasn't breathing on his own. So they started training me on how we're gonna do that, the trachea. He had a G-tube, just so many things that he had. He couldn't eat. My life was just different. And the day my labor started when I was at children's home. It was Christmas time, Christmas Eve, about to go spend time with them. And it starts, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the kids, I won't be able to spend time with them. And, just all that, having the baby, I didn't even want to be discharged from the hospital because I was afraid. Like, how am I going to do this?
Right.
How am I? They're training me. I'm like, I don't want to learn all these things. I had to give injections to him, and I was so afraid. Yeah, they freaked me out, but of course I had to give injections for the blood thinners, the G-tube, feeding him every so often. So life was changed. It was different. We had, things in the house for him. And I know going through this, I've met women who are doing that now. And, the babies, they're doing that right now. They're going through it. For Jesse, it's better because we don't feed him like that. But I couldn't go anywhere. I had to be at home. And I was devoted to that. I had to be there for Jesse. And he knows. He's like, Mommy, watch me. I'm doing this. Like, the biggest supporter. Yeah. So life was different. They discharged me to take the baby home. Jesse's getting discharged. It was just like, wow. But, God opened the door, and my mom was able to come, after that. So, and the support, I can't, stop mentioning the support. Great support I had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for anybody that also may be going either through a similar situation or feel like they're going through a challenging situation, what kind of hope or inspiration can you give those type of people that feel like they can overcome their challenge or their struggle or whatever situation it may be for them?
Yeah, so a scripture that really helped me through the journey was Romans 8:28. All things work for good for those who have been called according to his purpose. It helped me. So I said, Lord, if this is not from you, I rebuke it, but it's from you. I'm standing. It's my test. I am standing, and I'm going to get through it. But I ask for grace. May your grace be sufficient in my time right now, because it was crazy some days. Like when they're putting the shunt, that day was driving me crazy. I'm like, they tell you it's forever, it's gonna be there, and I'm like, I don't want it to be there. But talking to God, and just, if you're mad, you're angry, I say just be honest with him. Let him know exactly how you feel, because at the end of the day, he knows, and our help is coming from him. And just having positive people around you to lift you up and to receive the help. I had some type of pride to receive help, but I'm over it. It's very important to receive help from people
it is.
Who are taking care of the kids, who are doing all sorts of things, coming, even strangers sending money. It was hard for me to receive it, but it's like, Carolyn, just get it. I'm like, I will, but God delivered me from that.
Yeah.
So I say, just hold on to God. The better days are coming, and you'll be able to minister to other people with confidence that you stood the test of time. You know, God won't be upset with you if you tell him how you feel, how upset you are with the situation. You know, I always tell people that be honest with him and he'll see you through. And maybe that's going to be your testimony. That's your message. You know, they said your mess is your message. Your test is your testimony. And you will be able to encourage other people. My testimony is not for me, I say. It's a kingdom testimony to encourage other people.
Absolutely.
So,
and I appreciate you sharing that story, because I feel like it'll definitely help inspire and help encourage a lot of other people that feel like their situation may be a little bit harder, but if they hear, you know, different stories such as yourself, that'll definitely encourage them to push a little harder, or, you know, continue to have faith and to believe, you know, that they can continue to make it, you know, and you're a great example of that. So I definitely appreciate you being able to share that for sure. As we get closer to wrapping up, where do you see yourself going in the future, and say like the next maybe 2 to 5 years, maybe in life or in your business or anything in general?
So I see myself as an author.
Okay.
In a few years, yes. I'm working on a book.
Okay.
Yeah. And on on our business side, I would love to venture out, even like making cleaning products.
Make your own.
Yes.
Okay. That'll be a big deal right there.
Yes. So, you know, with everything, you get the knowledge, you learn how to go about it. Other people are doing it. So would love to, you know, create, because I love to use bleach, but sometimes it's too strong. So, but it gets the mess all out. But, you know, just coming up with something that's not so strong, but it's doing such a great job, you know, so just trying to go in that direction. Yeah, and just some other cleaning products. And, of course, I know there's greater opportunities to grow, because, you know, like we said, you start from small, medium, big, because God is walking you through that. Because when you just go like that, you have to know how to manage, you know, the employees, your books, the accounting part, all those things. Those are different departments of a business. So as you are coming along, you're learning about all these things, putting everything in order, getting the right people to help you, administration and things like that, supervisors. So, you know, we see ourselves.
Yeah.
The latter days are better.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So where is the best place for people to contact you? And then lastly, what's a 24-hour challenge that you were proposed to the audience that they can take effectively after watching this episode?
So the best place will be, you know, we have our website, www.wecleanpittsburgh.com. And there's a phone number there, and there's a part where the contact form where people can, you know, put in the information. And people who are looking to join our team, you can apply there also. So, and then Facebook. You know, I'm big on Facebook.
Yeah.
I tell people, I said, I am not in denial.
Right. You gotta promote yourself on social media.
Yes, there's nothing wrong to promote yourself. So I'm big on social media. I don't have a business page on Instagram, but I'm taking Instagram to another level. Okay. Yeah, because I understand it better. I tell my daughter, I don't understand Snapchat, so I'm not gonna get there. Right. I don't.
Right. It's a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, but eventually maybe I'm gonna go join, but I'm not on Snapchat there. So Instagram, I'm gonna be connecting Instagram with the Facebook page. Okay. Yeah. So that's a great place. We're very good at replying and getting back to our clients, and yeah. So those are the places they can get in touch with us.
Well, good stuff.
Yes, and the challenge.
Yeah, we need a challenge. So people can take some action.
Absolutely. So, can you have two?
Yeah,
two of them?
Yeah.
So, I have two.
Okay.
One is be an answer. To be an answer to somebody. Somebody who needs to start something, or somebody who needs the help, or to just listen or talk. Be that answer. We need answers in different areas of our lives. So we always go by that. As Steel City Building Maintenance, we want to be an answer. Even to the people in the community. You know, we're stepping out I brought, can I show you this?
Yeah.
You know, like I shared with you, we were one of the sponsors for 50 Shades of Silence.
Right.
Which was being overseen by Dareth Chisholm. And even the gala, we sponsored that also. So we want to be an answer in this great city of Pittsburgh. You know, we're not going to go big on everybody, but one person at a time. So be an answer. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but, you know, just in different ways. The other thing is for those who are planning to, or they have a desire to start a business. I challenge you in this month of July to step out. Do the research on how you have to go about it. Ask the Holy Spirit. If you haven't come up with a name, come up with a name. Spirit inspired. Do your registration. Get your EIN number and the type of business. You have to make sure that you get in the right business that you're going to enjoy. I enjoy. Do you see my videos?
Oh, yeah.
When I'm running those machines?
Yeah, you like what you do, for sure.
Yes, I learned how to do the carpeting, everything, you know. Sometimes I don't have to, but I do it. I'm there. So something that you're going to love to do. So step out in this month of July. There was a place where I was invited to go, and they said the challenge. I said, go and get passports. If you're going to have a kingdom global mentality, get them passports. But this is a different challenge. Get your business started. Get your business plans started. And you'll be proud of yourself.
Absolutely.
Step out.
Yeah, you got to step out.
Yes, execute.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So I definitely appreciate you sharing those challenges. I appreciate you being on the show for sure. Definitely a lot of good insight, a lot of good inspiration for sure. And I hope a lot of people take what you said to heart and actually apply it, because, you know, that's what this is all about. Yes. So definitely appreciate you being on. For people that are watching this episode, definitely make sure you accept that challenge. Make sure you comment below, let us know your results of that, and also definitely make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and we will see you on the next episode.